It's a very exciting time to be studying the media at the moment. The media has undergone a lot of changes since the beginning of the century with the development of the internet, and established media companies are now being challenged by social media, search engines, new forms of engaging with the media, in particular user-generated content, and they've had to rethink their business models. So increasingly we're seeing established media both diversifying, newspapers offering video content online, but also converging so that previous organisations that tended to focus on providing a specific media service, for instance broadcasting, are now offering online text messages and services as well. So the media is becoming a more complex environment, and this is raising questions about the continuing legitimacy of the existing regulatory regimes and whether there's still a case for regulating the media in the same way that we have done in the past.
Throughout the course, we will be dealing with some of the most pressing questions that state regulators as well as media companies are facing in these days. Because of technological changes and development that have been undergoing through the last few years, state authorities are increasingly losing their capacity to regulate the free flow of information within their boundaries, and on the contrary, international actors such as the European Union, but not only, are increasingly becoming leading actors in the process of media law making. For this reason, we will be particularly focusing on some of the questions that arise from, for instance, some very current rulings released by the European Court of Justice, the European Court on Human Rights, and other international courts. Think, for instance, of the strong impact of recent decisions, such as Google Spain on the right to be forgotten, or Digital Rights Ireland on data retention, or most lately Delphi on the responsibility that intermediaries might face for content posted online. We will be asking ourselves questions on these and other topics related to both infrastructure and regulation, following an issue-based approach and trying to capture the dynamics at the international and European level of media law in these days.
I think a number of people would be interested in the course who are coming from different backgrounds. For instance, a number of our students have gone on to work in media law firms. They've wanted to specialise in traditional media law, defamation, privacy, these kinds of areas. But we're also finding students interested in working for in-house firms, as I did for the BBC, or possibly a regulator working with the media industry. A couple of our students have gone on and worked for media regulators in Germany, in the UK for Ofcom, and for industry organisations such as PACT, who act for the independent producers in the UK. So there are a range of trade, business, specialised law firms that might be interested in students who've got this particular qualification.